Hi, I'm Becky Rose Dungeon Girl, and last night I played Conquest of Nerath with some friends, which was really cool because for the first time ever playing this game, there were actually 4 people sat at the game, which is good because it's a 4-player game. It really is sort of fixed to 4 players. You can do 2 players playing 2 people, 2 of the empires. Most of the time when I've played this, I've had a 3-player game, and we've tried various things to try and make the third player work, but it always it's a bit unbalanced that way. So yes, 4-player game works, very fun game. Now we tried a new house rule to go onto a proposal to go onto the official house rules. And although this was a short game, it actually worked quite well, and I could see it sort of starting to have its desired effect. So let me explain what the rule is, because it's one you might want to try if you play Conquest of Nerath. So anyone who's played this game a few times will know that the magic item cards are really quite powerful. And once you've realised how powerful they are, you start farming them with 3 wizards. And what happens once you've done the dungeon for the first time, you then put 2 monsters in the dungeon, but 3 wizards can still fairly reliably beat 2 monsters. Do what I normally do, which is to farm a dungeon next to my capital with 3 and just replace as necessary. The problem with this, of course, is that it's not much of a quest, is it? You've just got a capital here on the square next to a dungeon, and I'm just sending in wizards every turn until I've got all of the magic items that I can get. It's just, continually through the game I end up with more and more magic items. And the farming usually starts sort of 4 or 5 turns into the game, and it's just a thing that happens. And it's not as if the magic items even make your mages that much more powerful, so you end up getting, replacing them with cheaper fighters as you get some of the cooler magic items. And for me that doesn't really work. I feel that getting this magic stuff should be a quest. So, the rule we played last night that seemed to work quite well is this. The first time you go into a dungeon, there's 1 counter, and the second time there's 2, just as normal. The third time, the dungeon stays empty. And that's it. It's void. There is no more loot to be found in the Vault of the Drow in this case. There's no more loot to be found in the lost caverns of Judge. This makes the magic items more of a quest to go and get. You have to send your wizards out on boats to go and reach the various dungeons and be first there to get the treasure. And it did work very well. You can even see here that possibly not with the camera all the way over there, but I've got a couple of wizards on a boat here. They were, as the game ended, my plan, if we didn't have to end at the time we did, was to go in the Tomb of Horrors, because I'd farmed this one. Ignore her. She's wrong. Alright, better idea. On the second time you go into a dungeon, put 3 cards down. So after you clear it once, put 3 cards down, because then you have the choice to make, a serious tactical decision to make, especially if you play like I do, where you have only the models in the game to choose from, as opposed to having huge stacks of wizards. Or fighters, of course. Fighters can also go in dungeons. So, but if you put 3 monsters down, you have a choice to make. This is a tough dungeon now, really difficult. And there is actually enough monster cards to put every dungeon to have 3 monsters on, so you won't run out of monster cards. So, yeah, it becomes a choice. You start wanting to travel further afield, but you still have the option of going back into a dungeon to go much deeper to get the next lot of loot, if you want to. I think that will work. So here's an idea that I've not yet play tested, also to do with dungeons and loot, but in films, or stories like there's a legendary artifact in the Temple of Elemental Evil. It's where a Gorgon protects the treasure hoard. Or, let's have a better one. A Gorgon protects the winged boots. And you can get this artifact from the Temple of Elemental Evil, and it's actually protected by green slime. What if, when you fail to kill a dungeon monster, you still put the loot card, get the loot card out, but you put it down face up so everyone knows not only what monster's there, but also what treasure. So if you succeed, you just take your loot card as normal, and nobody else knows what it is, but if you fail, you get the legend of the winged boots in the Temple of Elemental Evil, protected by, well, a rather rubbish monster in this case. Let's find another one. Protected by an ochre jelly. Protected by a pit fiend. Dun dun dun.